They gave me a gift, you know.
And it is those little subtleties, right? You know, the devil's in the details, and it's always been that way. Things like parking the truck out in the street rather than the driveway in case something's leaking. It sounds so subtle, it's probably not even observed by the end user, but it would be observed if the problem comes to be, right? The
Right.
wiping the feet and then putting on the shoes. You know, for some, it's really a show of respect, right? In some cultures, that's a very big deal. So, you know, those little steps that you may overlook, overlook the fact that you've built them into a process is really what does set apart, because different people kind of cling on to different things, and you never know which one it'll be. And of course, a gift is a gift, right? Everybody's going to enjoy that part of it and certainly feel different. But it's those little steps along the way that you're outlining that really intrigued me. And, you know, MSPs out there, we all know we're invited guests into a lot of customers' businesses too. What are the steps that our technicians are taking going into their, you know, uniforms, timeliness? These are all simple things and things that I used to browbeat into my guys too, you know. And if you're going to be late, you call them up and you offer them to buy them a coffee. Make something part of that day was one of
Yeah.
our things too, that if you're going to do it, A, that coffee's coming out of your pocket, Mr. Guy that's late, and two, the customer feels good. But, you know, these little steps really make a difference. And, you know, I really commend you on building such a strong process.
Yeah, and you know, and like I said, it's nothing earth-shattering either, as we both mentioned. But you know, what we're trying to do also is hit every single sense that a human has, from smell, which is actually smell is the strongest sense when it comes to memories. So if we show up, like I said, and I'm not kidding, you know, showing up like you just smoked a pack of Marlboros and you know bathed in some cheap cologne. That's what people are going to remember because that's the number one sense. We'd rather them not even think about odor
Well, I
at
think
all.
especially in what you do today with, you know, rugs being part of that, that
Yeah,
olfactory sense is even more prevalent than maybe even the IT guy because you're coming in to clean. So if you're coming in perceptually dirty, you're already one
yeah.
strike against you.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. And you know the gift though, when we implemented it, it actually starts a process called reciprocity, where I give something to you, you feel compelled to give something back to me. When we implemented that gift, we actually saw a 26% increase in our mid-tier package, which was about an additional $65,000-$70,000 a year in sales just from that little $4 gift. So while that was a happy byproduct, I wasn't going into it thinking, oh, I'm going to give them something, they're going to give me something back. It was just, we started this and we're like, daggone, we're selling a lot of these stain fighter packages. What did we do? Oh, we implemented a gift. So,
Did you find that that also kind of drove some of the referral traffic up a little bit higher
oh
as
yeah,
well? You
100%.
know,
Yeah,
the MSP industry is one that lives very heavily on the referrals. You know, obviously the contract values are quite a bit different than what you
sure.
experience. But, you know, when people say to me, well, how do you work on getting referrals? It's wowing people. It's doing these little things. It's having a tactic that makes them think differently about you. And you've been spot on, at least in my opinion thus far, Vance, in the sense that it takes the small things to really wow people. You know, I look at my own family when we have an experience out. What's the thing that they take away? Usually the invisible, right?
Right.
Something that happened very small that really, you know, really hit them and made them feel in the feels, as
Yep.
they say, right?
Yep.